Evening everyone, this is Robert Jamieson. Welcome to our online lesson for this evening. I have with me in the studio Henry Bayliss. Hello Henry.
Hi.
Got all your detail there. Have you checked out your... Okay, 1084. You seem to be a bit stuck there in the 1000 to 1084s lately.
Yeah.
But you're playing quite a bit, so hopefully you can get that moving in the right direction. And how old are you?
I'm 13.
13, okay, and you play quite a lot there, which is good. All right, so welcome to today's lesson. Now the theme of today's lesson is the opposition. Can you tell me what that is?
Well, opposition is sort of blocking your opponent, like staying opposition between, for example, if your opponent's on E2, then you're going to want to stay on G2 because that's opposition and you're blocking your opponent from coming forward.
Okay. All right. The definition of the opposition is where the two kings are opposing each other, and there is an uneven number of squares between the two kings. So if the other guy has to move, you've got the opposition. He's got to step aside.
Yeah.
I'll show you in more detail in a minute. All right, well, let's have this little puzzle and see how we go with the opposition there. So, what did you think was a draw or a win for black?
I knew it's a draw.
That's a draw. All right. So, would you like to play the drawing move for me, and we'll see how we go?
I think it might, not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be King F2.
All right. So you're going King F2. All right. I'll go King here.
And then I am going to go King G3.
So what you'll notice, guys, is there is one square, an uneven number between the kings, and it's white's go. So I have the opposition. You have to move aside.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So you're going up here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to copy you. What would you like to do now?
I would like to go up again. I'd like to go King G4.
King G4. All right. I'm going to come down here.
Yeah. That was a mistake, Dan.
That was a mistake, was it?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll put that back. What would you like to do instead?
I'd like to go back down. Oh, yeah.
You're going to go here? All right, I'm going back down as well. So I'm keeping the opposition.
I'm just going to go back up again.
Back up again, and then I'm going to be sneaky and come down here.
And then I'm going to go to... I'm going to go across to...
Cross over here?
No. Yeah, that's a good move.
You want to go there? All right. I'll come up here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go up.
You'll go up. Then I'm coming here.
Yeah, you've won this one.
I've won.
Yeah.
So it's a win for black.
Yeah. So it must be King H3, but that's the only other move. Maybe a bit of triangulation might be involved.
All right. Let's see if someone can help us. Joshua's a pretty good player.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You there, Joshua? Talk to me, Joshua. A pretty good player without a microphone. Okay, who else can we try? We'll try Nathaniel. You there, Nathaniel?
Yes.
Did you think it was a draw or a win for black?
I thought it was a draw.
And what do you think the drawing move is?
I think the drawing move is King F2.
King F2. Okay, I think we just did that or something very similar. All right, thanks, Nathaniel. Good try. Only one of you has found the solution, and that is Sam. So congratulations, Sam. The drawing move is the silly-looking move, King H1. Now, when you look at it, there are 1, 2, 3, so there's an uneven number of squares between the two kings.
Yeah.
And it's black's go. So white has the opposition. So, for instance, if black goes here, white goes here. If black goes here, white goes here. And whatever black does, white just sort of copies him like a mirror image, and black can't get through. So that was really cute. So congratulations, Sam. That was a pretty hard puzzle. Not many people get that, but that was the opposition. So keep that in mind today, guys, because in our game, we might need this skill later on. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, Henry didn't have many games for me to look at in Tornello, or they're all fairly old. So I thought instead of looking at one of Henry's games, we'd look at a famous game from a former world champion, Alexander Alacon. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I have.
What-
I know exactly who he is.
All right, what sort of player is Alakine? Can you tell me
Well,
about that?
I'm not sure what kind of player. I think he was a bit dynamic, wasn't he? I can't remember if he was dynamic or... I know he died playing chess. I know that.
Yeah, he's the only world champion to have died whilst holding the title, but he was a very strong attacking player.
Yeah, so...
He loved to attack.
Yeah, dynamic. He even has his own opening after him.
Yep. In fact, there was a famous attacking grandmaster called Spielman who said, I think I'm just as good an attacking player as Alakine, but the only trouble is I can't get the positions he gets. So that was a clever response. All right, so let's have a look at this game between Alakine and Frederick Yates, who was a British master, a reasonable player. This is way back in 1910, and we're going to, at various stages, going to stop and try and guess the grandmaster's move and see if we can learn something by comparing his moves with our moves. All right, so we start off, and it's a Queen's Gambit sort of game.
Queen's Gambit declined.
Queen's Gambit declined like so, and we're all putting out our pieces like so. Now, what's the first thing you notice about White's position, do you think?
Well, I guess White's going for a much more aggressive position. Like Queen's Gambit's very aggressive, but that's still based as a queen.
Okay, what I want to point out is that White has got his 2 pawns side by side, because in all these talks, I keep saying to you guys, one of the things we've got to try to achieve in the opening is to get 2 pawns side by side. So we've got a bit of a strategy with those pawns later on.
Yeah,
at the moment, Black's just got 1 outpost in the centre. All right, now, I'll give everyone a choice for White's next move. So would you like White to play Queen C2, or would you like White to play Bishop D3? So choose between those 2 moves, and in the question, type in what move you think you'd choose. So I'll just give you 5 seconds to have a think. Callum's going Bishop D3, British is Bishop D3, Josh is the Queen C2 man, Ryan, Thomas, Oliver, all Bishop D3s, Julian, Benji, Queen C2. So it looks like Bishop D3 is winning. So what do you reckon, Henry? Which one would you choose?
Well, that's a bit of a tough one, but it depends. Bishop D3 is more development. Queen C2, I guess, is probably a bit more positional. I'm not sure though.
So
could be Bishop. I'm leaning towards Bishop G3, but could be Queen C2.
All right, little subtlety. The move they played was Queen C2.
More aggressive.
Now, normally you'd want to move the bishop out so you can castle. The only drawback of that is that if you move the bishop, he might take you and you've got to move again.
Yeah.
So White's being a little subtle. He's putting his queen out on the off chance so that if Black takes now, you can move the bishop out straight away without losing that move.
Yeah, that's a bit.
All right, so just a little subtlety there from Alakine. Black plays B6, so he's obviously going to fianchetto the bishop on B7. All right, what move do you want to play now, Henry?
Well, I still don't want to. I don't really want to go with Bishop G3 yet. I might go with. This is a tough one.
So what other move would you look at?
I'd look at Bishop E2. I'd also look at castle and queenside, but Bishop E2 appeals more to me.
Right, castle and queenside. Is that a good spot for castle?
Possibly Bishop up to. No, not really.
The king is very airy there.
Unless you want to play really aggressively up that king.
Yeah, I wouldn't be castling queenside.
I want to. But
all right. The move White played, which is a little bit subtle. Now, Black, as I said, is going to play Bishop G7 next move because he wants to get his bishop on this. Whoops, hang on. Sorry, wrong colour. I'll try again. He wants to get his bishop on this really good long diagonal because we're trying to put our pieces on good squares. So White's a clever little move. He says, all right, I'm going to take your pawn. You take me back. And now the diagonal's blocked. So when the bishop goes to B7, it's not going to be such a good bishop. So he chucked in the pawn takes pawn first. Okay, where am I? Takes, all right, Bishop D3 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so White's got a bit of pressure going on this square there because he's got the queen and the bishop lined up, and he's got the knight
under attack,
putting pressure from his bishop here. So the other knight really has to stay there to defend that first knight. So White's building up a bit of pressure on the king side. Black moves the bishop. All right. Let's see if we can guess Alekine's move now. So everyone, I'll give you a chance. So Alekine, white to play. Type in on the question, what move do you reckon white should play here? So Josh is going castle kingside. Benji's going knight e5. Justin's going bishop takes f6. Bridesh the same. Callum knight e5. Thomas castle king. Ryan castle queen. Oliver bishop f5. Gee, we've got moves all over the shop. Okay, Henry, what move would you like to play?
Well, there's three. Well, my idea is either going to be bishop takes f6 because that's a more aggressive option, but castling's probably going to be better. So, but then again,
You castling kingside or queenside?
Also pretty good.
Kingside or queenside?
I'd castle kingside. Queenside, I don't want to do. If I did, so it's either toss between three. But I personally like castling and bishop takes more. That bishop takes f6 more. So I'll go castle.
All right. Well, a few points. So, firstly, I certainly wouldn't do bishop takes f6 because I can probably do it later. I wait till he challenges me and then I decide whether I want to take. So that sort of cost him a fairly useless move. You wouldn't just take him out of the blue. All of you guys who wanted to play knight up here, that's a bit naughty because you're moving a piece twice in the opening when there's no real need to. He can take and double our pawns, so try not to do that. Some of you wanted to play knight up here, sort of going through the cheapo threat, trying to get in on c7. Again, that's moving a piece twice in the opening, which is naughty because he'll just play here and say go away. So we've just totally wasted time. Okay, but none of you have come up with Alekine's move. So let's have a look what he played. Played h4. Okay, Henry, now that you've seen it, what do you think he's up to? Why isn't he sort of casting or something?
I've seen this and I've played this a fair few times, but not very often. It's actually he's going for full out attack on the king side.
Yes, so he's attacking player, so he's sort of saying, hang on, I'm going to try and attack you on the king side, watch out fella. And you'll notice he's also preserved his options. He hasn't castled king side or queen side. He can still do either. So blacks have sort of kept guessing a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're black and you're being attacked on the king side, what should you do?
Well, I'd try and get rid of the attacker with not any of those with not my three protected pawns. Maybe trying to get that. Maybe trying to exchange with the bishop now. Try and get that pawn doubled, making it a lot weaker. So
what move are you looking at?
Well, I'm looking at maybe knight moving, maybe.
You're going to move the knight to e4 or something, or what are you thinking? Or?
Yeah, but that's not going to be the right move.
No. The general rule of thumb, guys, so if you're being attacked on one side, like the king side or something, you counter-attack ideally in the center. So black, he's going c5. So you'll notice that now he has got his two pawns side by side, which I talked about. So that'll help him to open up lines. Or he could even look at playing c4, chasing the bishop away, gaining a bit of space. So he's not lying down and taking it, he's going for it himself. All right, Henry, what are we going to do now?
Well, now that I've seen that, I'd probably maybe think about pushing b4. Then
Pawn to b4?
No, I mean g4. But
G4, okay.
Currently being attacked.
Okay.
So maybe, I'm not going with bishop f6 yet, but I don't know, maybe rook. No.
Would you castle?
Maybe I'd castle. I'd think about castling queenside, but
okay.
Because that way you might have a chance to double rooks up there and maybe get rid of this pawn along the line.
Very good. That's why you castle queenside. So now we've got a situation where the players have castled on opposite sides of the board. So it could be a bit of a race. White will be attacking on the king side. Black will be trying to attack on the queen side. So who's going to get there first? Okay. He takes on d4. All right. Now another question for you guys to consider. Do we take back with the knight or we take back with the pawn? So type in on the question whether you want to play e takes d4 or knight takes d4. See what you think. So Ryan's going with a pawn, Oscar's going with a pawn. Joshua pawn. The British has gone with the bishop, which is illegal. Oliver's gone with the knight. Sam with the pawn. Harry knight, Justin knight. It's almost 50-50. Nathan's going knight. Looks like the knight's pulling ahead. Oh no, British pawn. Thomas, what do you reckon, Henry?
Well, like I said, it is actually pretty close because I guess the pawn maintains in the center, but if you want to take with the knight, you get more position.
So
and maybe a knight more central.
You've got to choose. So which one?
Make the knight more central, but I want to take with the pawn because it's
you want to take with the pawn.
Yeah, because then you get it advanced a bit further forward.
Okay, all right. Let's see what Alakine did. He took with the knight. Okay, now he's probably got two reasons there. One reason is that the knight's got this good square it could come into for the attack, so knight on f5 looks pretty threatening. The other reason, if we have a big swap off and we stop attacking, and we want to go all positional, then black has this isolated pawn on d5, which is nicely blocked by our knight. So positionally, if it was a positional sort of game, maybe it's a little bit better for white. But we're a long way from having a positional game yet. Okay, now let's see. Black to play, so black plays rook e8. Now that looks a little bit funny, doesn't it? Because, I mean, the rook is not an open file, it's just bumping into this pawn and there's the bishop in the way. So Henry, why do you reckon he's played rook f8? What's the idea there?
It could be to just get the rook. It could be maybe try and get his rook on the semi-file and hope to open it a bit later, but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen probably. So yeah. Why does he want to move his rook there?
Could also be because he might want his king to have f8 as escape square if in case h4 does get there.
Yeah. Any other reason?
Well, there's also the there's also a chance for no, I can't really see.
Can't think. All right. We'll see if someone else can help us. See if Daniel can talk to me. You there, Daniel? Daniel?
Yep.
Right. Rook e8. Why do you reckon he did that?
Right now I'm not quite sure myself.
Okay, because Henry says a couple of reasons. They're probably not the right one. So all right. Thanks, Daniel. All right, this is a fairly standard maneuver. Now the reason is not so much what the rook's doing, but we've vacated this square. Okay, so now if we want to defend, either our bishop could drop back here, or more probably our knight could drop back here, and then it's defending this pawn here. So like if you end up taking on f6, the knight on f8 is still defending the pawn. So that's a standard sort of maneuver, so keep that in mind to clear the square for your defensive piece. Okay, white to play. So he's got his pieces nicely placed, he's castled, he's got his rooks connected, it's all looking pretty good. Let's see if you can guess Alakine's next move. So on the question, type in what you think white's next move should be. So Ryan's going rook e1 without telling me which rook. Daniel's going h5. Justin's going bishop b5. Sam and Bridges knight f5. Thomas h5. Rook h3 from Thomas, interesting idea. Oliver bishop h7 wants to lose a piece. e4 from Benji. Okay. f4 from Oscar. So we've got millions of moves. So Henry, any of them appeal to you?
Well, I want to really continue the attack on the king side, so I do really like h5.
h5, okay.
Yeah.
So h5 you think?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what the world champion plays. So we'll go back. Oh,
I know what that is.
He's played a totally boring defensive move just to get his king off the open file.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
Well, in case that rook comes down, that's going to be nasty because then he can't get his knight. He might be thinking to get his knight over.
Yeah, so it's very dangerous having the king and the queen on this open file here. But this is a very good lesson. So even Alakine, the greatest attacking player in the world at the time, he doesn't go 100% attack. He gets ready first. So he's got his pieces out, he's got his rooks connected, but he says, hang on, I just better make my king safe first, then I'm going to attack like crazy. Okay, so that's a good lesson for all you guys. Don't just lash out with the attack, get ready first. Okay, so let's see what black comes up with. A6, all right, so he's going to push his pawns at us on the queen side. All right, Henry, attacking move, what have we got?
Well, we could still go with H5, but I don't really want to go with that. I still think that I'm thinking maybe I want to get my rook up. Maybe my other rook out.
Other rook. So where's a good spot for your other rook?
Maybe my other rook could come up to
G1, you're thinking?
Yeah, because then you can get the other pawn into an attack, and then you get maybe another pawn into the attack.
All right. So you're thinking rook here, and then you're going to push your other pawn at him. Is that the idea?
Yeah, and then maybe you retreat your bishop back and go with pawn attack like that.
All right.
Sure.
Very close. Good idea, because we want to get more attackers in. Alekhine actually did a sneaky way. He did it straight away. Now what's happening here is black can't take, or he can, but if he does take, we get this pawn in exchange. So already we're sort of opening up his king a bit. So that probably wouldn't be so hot.
Yeah.
So that was pretty clever. So he's got the two pawns going side by side, hooning down to the other guy's king. Okay. Does black panic? Let's have a look, see what he comes up with. B5, all right, so he's doing his own thing. All right, what do you want to do now, Henry?
Well, I don't want to do that rook move.
You don't want to move the rook anymore because it's not necessary?
Yeah, it's not necessary. It's just going to be a waste.
Okay.
Maybe...
Benji's screaming E4. Do you like E4?
No, I don't really, because that's not attacking the king side.
It's not attacking the king.
Yeah,
if we play E4,
then that's...
all we're really doing is we're opening it up for his bishop and stuff.
And not only that, we're actually allowing him to get a free pawn on top of that as well.
Yeah, it's very messy. So we don't want to do that. So let's put that one back. All right. So any ideas?
Well, you could possibly, I guess, go for maybe H5 would be interesting, but also maybe you want to get your bishop back as well.
Okay. Now one strategy. Let me think. So we're
back onto the file.
All right. So we're trying to attack. So let's think of some general strategies when we're attacking. So first strategy is we build up our pieces in the attack. So we're doing a pretty good job of that. Okay. Then we try and open up his king if we can. To create some weakness, because at the moment he's sort of sitting behind his castle there all nice and safe. That's another strategy. Or a third strategy is we try and remove his key defenders. So they're holding us up, and that will help us attack. So does that give you any clues?
That gives me a big idea. Maybe
So what
knight F5 just to bring the knight to the attack. Maybe even later you could possibly sack your knight. And I do like a good sack just to get that. Maybe get your bishop there. Then maybe some.
So you're looking at knight F5.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking knight F5 because that's going to be very aggressive, and you're putting even more pieces onto that king side.
Looks pretty good, but Alekhine came up with something different. I'll show you what he did. He took the knight,
that's enough.
getting rid of the key defender of that rook pawn.
And
so the other knight has to take back to defend the rook pawn. What can we do now?
Well, I guess we could push the pawn first to get out of danger.
Yeah, we push the pawn, so we're hitting his knight, and now he's got to be careful because we've got the attack going up here. So our pawns are really, really rocking on towards his king. So that's looking encouraging. All right, so what can black do?
Well, black's got to try and defend both at the same time, I guess.
So he's in trouble. His knight's attacked. If he moves the knight, his h-pawn's attacked. So what move can he make?
Well, he could possibly play knight e... He could play knight e4, but no, that loses a pawn anyway. Yeah, knight e4 looks pretty good. Just trying to see if we can defend that. Just trying to see if we can defend it.
Knight e4. Yep, that's correct. Just while we, by the by, Justin and Julian, you are spamming on the question box. If you do that, we'll have to kick you out. So please stop that immediately. All right. Black's best move, obviously, he's got to play knight e4 to block that. Now, what should we do now?
Well, we could just simply play. I reckon we should just simply play F3. He gets kicked. He's not almost has to move.
So F3. Okay, so you're looking at F3 to hit his horse. Now, what would happen? Would he take our knight? He would check. What are we doing then?
Yeah, that kind of breaks up our attack.
So if we've got to take with the pawn, our king's looking a bit
our king
open.
looks a bit grim.
And if we take with the queen, then we haven't got the queen and the bishop lined up.
Take another move to get
All right, so that's probably not so hot. Wait a minute, I lost my knight. There it is. Okay, so what should we do?
Well, I guess we could. Oh, we could take. No, that wouldn't.
Sam's suggesting rook f1. Do you like rook f1?
That's not a bad move, but I'm not sure. I'm starting to like the idea of taking that knight somehow.
Hey, we can win a pawn, can't we, if we take that knight? It's attacked 3 times, defended twice.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's give it a go. So we'll take the knight.
Yeah, we'll do that.
He'll take, and we'll zap the pawn.
Yeah.
All right. Black to play. Now we've got. We seem to have won a pawn, and we have a double attack because we're attacking this bishop and we're attacking this pawn. So it's looking good for us. What do you think black should play, guys? Type in what you think black should play in this position. He could be in real strife. He's dropped the pawn. We've got a double attack going. Any ideas for black? So Benji's going take the bishop. Josh is taking on e4. Sam, Nathaniel, Ryan's looking at queen d7. Everyone else has taken the bishop. Oliver wants to play bishop takes g5. British looking queen's d6 or something, which doesn't need to work. Joshua rook c8. Interesting. All right, Henry, what do you think? Anything there appeal for black?
Well, the main thing that you're getting is take the bishop, and I'm not so sure that I don't know. I mean, that's just getting the queen more active, and that's going to get the queen more involved in the attack. I'm not sure.
Okay, the interesting one is the obvious move is to take the bishop.
Yeah.
All right, but we don't just play the obvious move. We look around. So Josh has looked at rook c8, which I think is interesting because if he has to play queen here, we've like gained a developing move with our rook, haven't we?
Yeah.
We can still take the bishop.
Yeah. So I think
that's an interesting thought. Now whether white can do something like this, but then the knight's in a bit of a pin and might be in strife.
Yeah.
So rook c8, interesting, Joshua. Very, very good. You had a look at a different move like that. What he actually played, he took. We took back. All right. What do you think black should do now? Is a pawn down? We've still got our pawns hooning down, attacking. Black to play. What would you guys play as black? Everyone's got their thinking cap on. Derek's playing g6. Thomas is playing bishop c5. Benji's playing knight c6, which is illegal because we don't have a knight and it's black's move. British is going bishop c5 as well. Nathaniel rook c8. Okay. What do you think, Henry? What would you do?
Well, I don't know. I'd probably think about attacking again. Maybe thinking about h5, but it's too soon to play that. No, I mean, it's probably for white, but black, yeah.
Okay, black's a pawn down, so he's in strife. He's behind on development.
A5 seems interesting. Queen a5 also seems interesting.
All right, let's stop for a second. Have you examined all checks and captures?
Well, yeah, I've examined a fair few. I actually also think bishop c5 seems pretty good.
Bishop c5.
Oh, yeah.
Strengthening my queen, I move my queen, big deal.
Yeah. Or even bishop g5, just winning the free pawn, I guess.
Yeah. We look at all checks and captures, guys. So all those of you who didn't do it, what about bishop g5? So now you've picked up the pawn because you've got a counterattack going on my queen. So it looks like black's got his pawn back. All right, so now we're in a predicament. This is the key point of the game. So all you guys put your thinking caps on. Alekine's a very brilliant attacking player. Sometimes he comes up with moves that other people don't expect. What do you reckon Alekine should play here to try and keep his attack going? White to play. Oliver's retreating his queen down to d3. Callum's going knight c6. Oscar's putting the queen on f5 to attack that bishop. British likes knight c6. Ryan's dropping back queen g2. Thomas queen g4. Benji's going knight e6. Justin's going knight e6. Knight c6. What do you reckon, Henry? Any of them look any good?
Well, this is a bit. This is really interesting because I'm thinking of a move myself.
What move are you thinking of?
Well, I was actually thinking of trying to attack the king side. Maybe I was thinking of trying.
Your queen's attacked, so you've got to be careful. So
yeah.
How are you going to attack the king side?
Well, I was thinking of maybe playing queen, maybe g4, possibly even. I don't know if I don't think queen h7 works. I don't think that's going to work.
No, that is just silly.
Yeah.
All right. Now, some of you said knight c6. That's not the world's greatest move because I take, you take, I take, and you're a piece down. So knight c6, we can rule that one out.
I reckon queen g4 looks pretty.
All right. You play queen g4. Maybe he plays here.
Well, I'd probably bring my other rook into the attack. Well, no, actually, I'd probably move my knight first. Knight here, then maybe rook coming
You could play knight up here.
Then with my rook.
We're attacking my queen and stuff.
Yeah, maybe then I'm thinking about bringing the rook into action, just trying to get a pawn attack. But I'd have to be pretty careful about that fight there.
Yeah, you're sort of attacking, but whether you're getting there is another question. I might go here or something. You've got.
Then I go check and yeah.
Well, you can check me if you like. It doesn't seem to do that much. I'll just go there. So it's all interesting. One or two of you came up with the correct move, and one or two of you liked it so much you typed it in a zillion times, and it is Benji. Well done, Benji. Played the amazing move, knight e6. Hardest move of the game to find. What did you think of that? Knight e6. Why would he do that?
Well, I guess it's to stop the attack and it's to stop the attack, but more so to threaten the.
So look, let's look. So if black takes here, we take the queen check.
Yes.
So we've got queen for rook and bishop. So that'll be okay. So, and if he takes with a pawn, we just take with a bishop.
Yeah.
And now our queen's coming in on h7.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty attacking, and our rook's all opened up. So it looks like a really cool move. So well done, Alekine. That's why he's the world champion. He finds a move like that most of you, except for Benji, wouldn't find. All right, black plays queen there. What are we going to do now? Shall we take his bishop? We'll take with the knight or the pawn.
It took with the knight, it would lose that.
He'd swap queens in, and with our equal rook and pawn ending.
Yeah, we don't want that because we want to still maintain a pawn.
Yeah, well let's take with the pawn because that opens it up for our rook. So this rook and the queen and now got an attack going on here. Actually, that's pretty clever because say he takes our knight, we're in here, so we're winning a pawn. Okay, what can black do? He looks like he's in strife because he's got to win his piece back soon, and we've got that double attack going.
Oh, this is really tricky thinking. I would like to be playing black. That's what I'm thinking.
Anyone want to suggest a move for black? We're in a bit of strife here if we're Mr. Black. What would be his best defensive try in this position? G6 from Josh and Daniel. G6 is possible, but then I'm ripping in here. And I'm going to think I'm going to mate you on the H file. So not G6.
Maybe even chase.
Hang on, Benji's done it again. Well done, Benji. H6. So he's covering that pawn so the queen and the rook don't get in. And we can't move our knight because we're still faced with queen takes queen and we're dropping our piece back. So we take him, he takes our knight. So Black's decided he's going to bail out, try and get the queens off, and there'll be a pawn down in a double rook ending or something. So he might get a draw with the world champion if he's lucky. All right, what do you want to do now, Henry?
Actually, I like the move. I like check with the pawn.
You like check with the pawn?
Yeah, I like that move, but I'm not sure if that's going to work.
All right.
That won't work, so I don't want to play, but I don't want to play that.
Maybe that's not such a good plan because now you're a pawn up, but your rook is tied to defending this pawn. Yeah. So I've got like an extra rook to play with.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, so I can't play that.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be so hot. So what do we do?
Well, we could also, I guess we could try, possibly, no, I don't want a queen swap yet.
Okay, I'll show you what he did anyway. So he played queen here, threatening mate on g7, but the other bloke said, obviously, hey, let's swap off queens. So he had the big queen swap. And what do you think White should do now? So White's one pawn up, double rook and pawn ending.
Well, maybe he should just swing his other rook into action.
Okay, so what you're thinking, maybe rook over here or something?
Yeah,
but then Black's going to block here, and you've still got that H pawn to worry about.
Maybe he takes the pawn first, maybe.
Yes, take the pawn first.
Yeah, take the pawn first.
He takes you. All right, now, let's just talk in general terms. So we're in a rook and pawn ending. So tell me the sort of things we want to try and do in rook and pawn endings.
Well, we definitely want to try, I guess we want to try and take either take as many pawns as we can and get down to the H.
Well, if we can take stuff for free, we take it for free.
Yeah.
So what do we want to do with our rooks?
Well, we want to double our rooks, I guess, and keep them on open files.
So
but not so much doubling.
Okay, rooks, we need to get them as active as possible. Yes. So we want active rooks.
Files.
All right. Now another point, rooks operate best from a, can you complete that sentence?
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Rooks operate best from a...
File?
No.
Oh, okay.
Are rooks close in pieces or far away pieces?
Far.
Yeah, rooks operate best from a distance. See, so like if my rook here, if I'm up here, I'm annoyed by the king. Whereas if I'm over here, miles away, I can keep checking him or threatening him and he can't get at me. So we want to get active rooks. Rook operate best from a distance. But the main thing is we don't want to swap off pawns if we can help it, because that gets him closer to a door.
Maybe swapping off the rooks.
So instead of like threatening a pawn, we take his pawn, he takes our pawn. What we want to do is we want to try and tie him down to defending stuff, and then we can hopefully improve our position, and he's stuck there and he can't improve his. That's the ideal. So think we're trying to tie him down and activate our pieces. So what move would you like to do to activate your pieces to start off?
I reckon rook d6 seems promising because get it on that file, stop the king queen.
All right, rook d6 is possible, but instead of that, hang on, I'm going the wrong direction.
d7.
We go rook check.
Rook g1 check.
Now, hang on, so that's tricky. You can't go to f8 because we go rook h8 check. So you've got to go to f6.
Yep.
How can we activate our rook now?
Well, we could just go with rook h6
Yeah, we
check.
h6 check. So now he's got to go to e7. So now we've got a really active rook, and our rook is attacking his weak pawn over here. So that's a good start. So now think about our rooks again. We want to activate our rooks, tie them down somehow. What can we do here? So what, everyone will type in white to play. What move do you reckon white should do? Think activating your rooks. Where should we put our rooks? Benji's going rook g7. Sam's going rook c1. Rook g7 from Thomas. Rook d1 from Justin. Do you like any of them, Henry?
Rook g7 seems pretty good. I mean, but I also like the idea of, I guess, rook g5, but rook g7 seems better.
Okay. If you went rook g7, I think you'd probably just play rook here, try and swap off, and then the rook would come here if you wanted. So not rook g7. What we want to do, rook c1, operating from a distance. So now we're threatening to come into c7 and check him and stuff. So he defends the second rank for him. All right, what can we do now? How can we tie him down? How can we attack things, get him to be all defensive?
Well, we could go with just rook c6.
Yes. So we're doubling our rooks, attacking the weak pawn. So he's got to push the pawn. All right, what can we do now to attack a weakness and tie him down.
Well, we can definitely just play rook a6 to rip in.
Yes, exactly right. Rook a6.
Just rip in there.
So we're getting off a pair of the rooks, so that's good. And we're attacking his weak A pawn. So his weak A pawn's got to come up now. So now we've got a really aggressive rook, and his rook's sort of sitting there not doing much. Now, what can we do to tie him down here?
Ooh, we can just go back to rook b6, I guess.
Yes, exactly right. Rook b6, we've spotted a weakness. So he's got to drop back to defend it. So now it's looking pretty good because our rook is attacking and his rook has to stay on the defense. And also our rook, by controlling this rank, has cut his king off, so he can't improve his king position. All right, so what do we do for white? How can we improve our position?
Well, I reckon we should just, maybe we should get our king out. It's a good time to get our king out.
King out, good stuff. Whoops. He goes check. What do you want to do now?
I reckon we want to go, once again, we just want to go to king d3.
Yep, king up, that looks fine. He moves his king across. All right, now, so he's tied down. He can't do much except waddle backwards and forwards with his king. How can we improve our position?
I guess, once again, we can try and, well, he has got the opposition, but we don't really mind about that, so I don't really think we mind about that at the moment. King d4 seems okay, but then he gets the...
all right, now this is exactly it. We don't play an attacking move, king d4, because then he comes in here with a counter-attack against our two pawns, and he gets to swap off some pawns. Yeah. So we're not doing that. So what he does, actually, he just plays a3.
Just a waiting move.
Well, it's also, but it's strengthening these pawns. So if this rook ever comes down, instead of attacking 3 pawns, he's now only attacking 2 pawns on that rank. We've got one of them out of the way. So and black can't improve his position. So black waddles over here, attacking a pawn. So we just push it. Yep. Now he chases our rook. So where should we put the rook? Rook operate best from
far. So I guess we should
go where do we go?
All the way back to h6.
Yes, exactly right. We put it far, far away. h6, excellent. He now gives us a check.
I reckon we should just, maybe we should go up to e4, but...
No, hang on. If we go e4, then he's coming down here.
Yeah, so we want to
go... So he's got a counter-attack.
So we want to go to C, I reckon C2 seems pretty good.
C3.
C3,
all right. Now he does a sneaky move. He plays f5. So now he's sort of saying, your 2 pawns are held by my 1 pawn. You haven't got a pass pawn. I've got everything protected. Your king can't get through. Maybe I've set up a nice drawing position. Unless you can come up with a clever move that might help you win. So we need some help because this might be a difficult move. So guys, on the question, white to play, how can white improve his position and give black real problems? Thomas is going king b4. Callum's going king d4, which is illegal. Justin wants rook h5. Benji wants rook h5. Josh, rook h5. British wants check. Okay, so some of those moves. So like rook check, that would be silly because you're just letting him out.
Yeah,
we don't want to do that.
I reckon rook h5.
Well, rook h5, so that's threatening e4, but his king can just come up.
Yeah, so I guess, actually, maybe rook f6. Maybe.
Rook f6, that's tying him down, but he just waddles around with his king. You haven't got the idea yet?
No.
Would you like to exchange rooks?
You have to go.
Actually, okay, yeah, how can you exchange rooks?
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Look at this, rook e6. Now we're going to go e5, force him to either swap or run away, and we take all his pawns. What a clever idea. All right, so black goes here. So we say, all right, I'm a pawn up. How would you like to swap? And he says, well, if I run away, I'm going to be 1,000,000 pawns down, so I better swap. Okay, now we have a king and pawn ending. And we've talked about the opposition at the start. Now that knowledge about the opposition might be really handy because king and pawn endings can be tricky. So let's see if we can use that knowledge to beat black with our extra pawn. Wow. So black says to himself, all right, if I go in here, white goes here, I've got to retreat and it's all yucky. So he's playing tricky move, king e7. All right, you guys, type in on the question what you think white should play here. You have to be careful. You have to think about the opposition. What should white do here? So Benji's going king d4, Ryan's going king d3, Callum's going e4, Sam's going king d4, Derek e4, British king b4, king d4. Oh, we've got millions of moves. Henry, help me. What move do you want to play?
I like king d3 thing. Well, king d3 or king d4 seem pretty nice because we're still sticking to this king, but we don't want.
Right. So what do you think about king d4? Would that be a good move?
No, not really,
because I play here,
yeah,
and I've got the opposition.
You're going to get opposition. So I reckon
Yeah.
king d3 is better.
Now you could play king here, but it takes you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, say 8 moves to get a queen. Meanwhile, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minutes for me to get a queen. So that would probably be a drawn queen ending. So the best move, Henry, is?
I'd say king d3.
King d3, very good. All right, now black is awake. He plays king d7. What are we going to do now?
King d7. Well.
So now let's have a look about this opposition.
The opposition.
Yeah. So if we look at it, so there are one. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I got the wrong colour. There are 1, 2, 3 squares between the kings, so an uneven number, and it's white's go. So black in this position has the opposition. So we can't push him away.
Well,
what can we do?
We could actually play, I reckon here we could play e4.
e4. Okay. e4. Let's have a look. Very good. That's what Alkine played. So the other guy doesn't take, obviously. He goes f4. What are we going to do now?
Well, we don't want him getting a queen at any stage, but we also, this is interesting. Maybe king back to d. We might probably want to go back king to e2. King to
e2. Very good. You've got it again. All right. Other guy goes up, attacking our pawn. All right, everyone. Type in what you would do for white here. White to play. Let's see if you understand the opposition. White to play. What move do you want to play? Thomas is going king f3. Callum's going king f3. Derek's going king f2 to be different. Oscar's king f3. Joshua's king f2. Benji king f3. Oliver's going king e1. It's very radical. Right. We've got a few moves there. Henry, what do you reckon?
Well, I reckon king f3, sorry. King f3.
King f3. Okay. Well, you, like half the class, have just lost the game. Because I have the opposition. You've got to go back.
Oh, yeah,
I take the pawn, and black win. We were a pawn ahead. 2 pawns to 1, and we've just lost because we didn't understand the opposition.
Well, we could.
I'll give you a second try. So the winning move is?
It's actually going to be king. It's got to be king d3, I guess.
Then he takes the pawn. Yes. Same deal. You lose again.
King f2 then. King f2.
Yes, king f2. We got the opposition. So if he goes back, we just zoom up and take his pawn. So if he's got to take us, we go up, and we've got the opposition. His turn to move. He's got to move backwards.
And we
go here or something. We take the pawn. We win.
Yeah.
Yay. Excellent. All right. I thought that was a really interesting game, but that demonstrated at the end how careful you have to be and how tricky the opposition is. So I think half the class failed the test. Finding king d3 and finding king f2 was extra tricky. So for those of you who didn't follow it right through to the finish and get the winning line, go back and have a think about it and see if you can understand the opposition. Getting an uneven number of squares between the 2 kings with the other guy having to move, so he steps aside. Because it happens a lot in chess, in king and pawn endings, and you really need to understand that skill if you want to be a good player. All right, so thank you, Henry. That was the end of today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed that game, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks very much.
The organizer has ended the session, and